Hey everyone, we're back with part 5 of the Haunted Mansion Ghost Tour. And once again, we're walking our way through this hallway leading up to our first actual sighting of ghosts, but we're definitely starting to feel their presence around us. And that is why today we're exploring the Corridor of Doors, as well as a few other small scenes within it. As the name implies, the Corridor of Doors is a long hallway that you pass through featuring doors nearly identical to this one. Notable for their grim details, such as this grisly glass figure up at the top, the skull-like wood carvings, the snake-like door handle, and the beastly face in the center of the door. But all these doors seem to be acting in strange yet different ways. One might be seeming like it's being pushed from the inside, as if something is pushing all its weight against it to get out. One might have its door handle jiggling, or a knocker on the door might be going off on its own. One might pulse with a strange and unearthly glow around its edges. All you know is you're not sure if you want to see what's on the other side of each of these doors. One thing you might have noticed in this picture, other than the wallpaper that I've been appearing in front of at the beginning of each of these videos, is these photos of various ghostly figures. And that's a fun detail that actually has given us a number of different things that I've shown you before and will show you again. See, the Imagineers working on the mansion wanted to populate the corridor with various pieces of wall art and photographs, much like you'd see in a lived-in home, but being that this is a unliving home, they figured it would be more appropriate to populate it with photos of various ghosts. Most of these were accomplished using various head molds they had for other ghosts within the mansion and then posing them and dressing them up in different ways. But then you've also got some, like that familiar piece of art, which you might remember from my first episode of the tour. Because yes, that is none other than the original painting for the ghost host, proudly displayed in this hallway. And also, if you were paying attention to that first photo of the door, you might have noticed another familiar face that we'll come to later. Further on, you'll pass by the mansion's conservatory, where it seems like we've just missed a lovely funeral. Although maybe the person the funeral was held for might say otherwise, as they seem to be trying to escape their own coffin, and very meek cries to be let out can be heard from within. Further on still, you'll eventually pass this gruesome grandfather clock, with very demonic features and a number 13 at its peak where a 12 would usually be. This actually comes from a previous concept for the mansion, the previously mentioned Museum of the Weird. See, Imagineer Rolly Crump had this idea for an artifact called the Coffin Clock, an idea that was expanded upon in the Disney Kingdom series Seekers of the Weird, which expanded on many of his concepts. Here you can see two of Raleigh's designs for it, an original sketch and a fleshed out miniature model that he used to sort of demonstrate the idea a little further. Both would feature some gruesome face in the middle of the clock's face, either a devil or a skull with strands of wispy white hair, and the hands in both iterations would be the literal hands of a skeleton, while the pendulum would be a swinging axe. And of course, the body of the grandfather clock itself would be shaped like a coffin. Obviously, a lot of the details did get changed for the final version that made it into the mansion, much like the demon chair. But I still very much like the final idea, and as you pass by, you'll see the shadow of a tree branch seemingly making the shape of a claw as it passes over the clock. I'd also feel remiss if I didn't mention that the clock had appeared in the trailers for the upcoming movie, and in my opinion, looks gorgeous. Look at it. Oh, they did tone down the more obvious demonic faces, but it's clearly still there and incorporated in such a gorgeous way. I really have to give everything to the prop and set designers for this movie from what we've seen so far. It's definitely, I feel, going to be one of the highlights of the movie. But with that, we've come to the end of this episode of our tour. Don't worry, I'm cutting it off here for a very special reason, and you'll see why tomorrow. Tune in then, and I'll see y'all next time.